Well, it's been almost a year since the rollout of 988. That's the National Suicide and Mental Health Crisis phone number.
The number is easier to remember, which officials say makes it easier for people to ask for help. Idaho Crisis and Suicide Hotline Director Lee Flynn says they saw a significant uptick in calls the first few weeks after 988 went live last July. Since then, it's leveled out a bit. Flynn says that's not surprising, considering 988 is still fairly new.
Abby Davis talked to the agency to learn more about these trends from the past year.
Driving around downtown Boise, there's a series of mental health murals.
Definitely a labor of love between local artists and businesses.
Reminding you about 988, the National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline.
It's a 24/7 connection to anyone who's experiencing any kind of emotional distress or mental health emergency.
It's been almost 1 year since 988 became the official mental health crisis number. Idaho Crisis and Suicide Hotline Director Lee Flynn says they've seen nearly a 10% increase in calls.
You've reached the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline.
You know, when call volume goes up, we see that as a good thing because it means that people are reaching out for help.
Flynn says having a shorter, easier to remember crisis number makes a big difference.
There were crisis hotlines like ours all across the country, and there were even different crisis lines in Idaho, and it was really confusing.
Now, everyone in Idaho who calls 988 gets help immediately. State 988 Project Manager Nicole Coleman says prevention is key, especially in Idaho.
The numbers look very scary.
Department of Health and Welfare data shows Idaho had the 11th highest suicide rate in 2019. And in 2022, more than 440 Idahoans died by suicide.
And we definitely need to continue to work to provide behavioral health services to people across the state.
Westerners don't really like to ask for help, so that's thought to be one reason why the suicide rate is so high. And then another reason that a lot of people think that we have a high suicide rate is access to firearms.
Flynn says making sure people get help starts by raising awareness about 988.
It's really helpful when people can help get the word out.
With words or pictures.
Flynn wants to remind people that 988 is for everyone, even people not experiencing a mental health crisis.
She says you can also call on behalf of family or friends who may need that help.